Hey, Kevin. Um, I, uh, I wondered, I guess any team would love to be kind of peaking as it reaches this point in the season and nears the postseason. In what ways do you think the offense is doing that, and in what ways is there still progress to be made?
Yeah, I think, when you think about peaking at this time of year, we talked about, I can remember Sean talking to the team late November, early December about what we wanted to do in the month of December as a team and be playing our best ball. And we've been able to, reel off, a few wins in a row now and playing complimentary ball and playing well in all three phases. But offensively speaking, we're always striving to, correct any errors we made. We're trying to figure out the advantages we can find to put our players in the best possible situations, and then letting those guys execute based upon, several factors where we can now build off of a lot of the things we've done, making things look the same but end up being different. The illusion of complexity, a lot of our offensive philosophies late in the year, can be something we rely on to build a plan to kind of be at our best when our best is required. And I thought the no greater example than that was the last drive of the game in Baltimore the other day. Our guys, were at their best when we needed them to be. Now we're just looking for that consistency a little bit more across the board.
And then the team obviously has big goals to accomplish in the final regular season game. There's also the individual accomplishment on the line for Cooper Kupp. It, it, if you think about yourself as a quarterback, as a former quarterback, what do you think goes through Matthew Stafford's head, or what goes through any quarterback's head when he knows there's a receiver out there who who we'd like to get the ball to, but obviously that's not the only only priority, or even the number one priority?
Yeah, I think the best thing about Cooper and the season that he's had, Kevin, is just he's done it in a way, within the confines of every single offensive game plan that we've had. And obviously he's a huge part of what we do. We've got so much confidence in him in really everything we do from a standpoint of the run and the pass and his impact on the game. But what's remarkable is that his catches and his targets and those things, there really hasn't been a time where, you look back on it and you feel like you've forced anything to him. It's come in the rhythm of the offense and the rhythm of progressions where maybe he's the first progression, maybe he's on the backside of something and Matthew gets to him. And I think that can hold true for us. And we'll have some things for him, obviously, but then, just in the confines of wanting to spread the ball around, activating all five eligibles, like we like to do. I think that's really what's made our offense what it's been this year. But then his impact of being able to fit in within certain rhythm and timing, and him being on the same page with Matthew. But from a quarterback's perspective, Matthew's got to go out there and he's got to make the correct read in the rhythm and timing of the play. And if that ends up being Cooper, that's great. But if not, Cooper wouldn't want it either way. Throw it to the open guy and we'll move on to the next play.
Thanks, Kevin.
Lindsay.
Kevin, with Matthew, he's been excellent in the fourth quarter, but what needs to happen for him to be more consistent from start to finish?
I think it's just a consistent process of understanding, all the phases of our offense, but then situationally, down and distance wise, we're really talking a lot about the power of putting the ball in play and throwing completions. And even if you got to check the ball down, one of the things that really resonated with me watching the tape from last week was there was a stretch there kind of in the third quarter. I know he didn't have an incompletion in the second half, but there were some plays there in the third quarter where you look at it and he checks the ball down to Sony a couple times, and I think 2 checkdowns totaled maybe 22 yards, a couple first downs, one on a play pass, one on a drop back play. But there were some throws maybe down the field and he didn't love it. And in the rhythm of timing that we're coaching, he got to Sony and gave him a good check down throw. And Sony goes and gets us a new set of downs. And just the value of completions, the power of completions, and picking our spots where maybe we can be more aggressive down the field, more aggressive by the situation. but understanding that in the end, the most important thing is the value of the possession of the football, especially when our defense is playing well, special teams are playing well. Our job on offense is to make sure we're scoring points and moving the ball, but we don't want to set back, either one of those sides to possibly make it any harder on our defense or our special teams than it already is.
Thanks so much.
Maria?
Hey, Kevin, kind of a two-part question. Sony Michel is obviously having such a great year. And what makes him such a good fit into this offense? And then the second part is, how do you sort of see Cam Akers fitting back in?
Yeah, Sony's been such a huge part of our success over the last few weeks. And really with Darryl going down, you looked at it and you didn't really have any fears of Sony not being able to handle it, because that's why we were so excited to go get him when we did. And he's been such a positive influence on our whole unit the whole year. But really, when I think about these last few weeks and how much we've relied on him, and 20 plus carries and the physicality at which he runs the ball with, I think it's added an element to our offense and added an element to our group that has really kind of thrived and kind of felt that physicality. And then maybe the offensive line and the tight ends and those guys on the perimeter, they start to feel a little bit more confidence to lean on the opponent a little bit. And I think that's been huge. And I think, his impact on really the running back room with Darryl and Cam coming back has been really positive. And with Cam, we're just so excited to have him back out there. And he's got that juice. He's got that infectious personality where all of a sudden, everybody, is excited to see him back there. But it's just great to have him back in the huddle with the unit. And I think the guys are really excited to see what he can do. But at the same time, we understand, this will be his first game action, and what can we do, to give him some great ops to get back in the flow, but without overdoing it to the point where you might be asking too much out of him. I know if you ask Cam right now, he'd say that wouldn't be possible, but it's on us as coaches to make sure we figure out that balance.
Thank you.
You got it.